So the number one pattern that I think that's going to work best in 2020 is the short squeeze. We've been seeing a lot of short sellers enter the market after this decade plus long bull market. So a lot of people are thinking like the stock market has to come down. These stocks are overvalued. Let's bet against them. And frankly, I just don't see any trend break yet. Very well could happen. But as of right now, the market keeps going higher and higher. 3 out of 4 stocks follow the market. So a lot of these over-aggressive short sellers are getting squeezed, and that's creating really ridiculous kinds of spikes. And it's a good thing for me and you if you're a long bias trader, because a lot of these stocks are spiking far more than they would just normally. The short sellers get squeezed. They're forced to cover. When short sellers are forced to cover, they buy. There's no difference between a short seller who's buying to cover versus a buyer. It pushes the price up. And when a bunch of short sellers who are obviously wrong in thinking that a stock is overvalued get squeezed, they all buy together, and you get these 50, 100% moves in a week. So I'm very grateful for these short sellers. They really seem to be stubborn too. I try to warn against over-aggressive short selling, but they just don't listen. So I see that trend continuing, and we're just going to keep partaking in these short squeezes from the long side. Are there any other patterns that I see happening in 2020? I see biotech to continue as a very hot sector. You know, we're investing millions and millions of dollars in different diseases and cures for those diseases. And the more time and the more money that gets invested, you're going to see more and more success. Obviously, it's very risky. You know, you can't guarantee that you're ever going to fully cure any disease. But if you just look at the amount of attention and money in this sector, we're seeing many more successes than we have in the past. And I think that's going to continue, just given the amount of money and given the amount of people working on this and the amount of companies. So be very aware of different biotechs, whether they're early stage biotechs or late stage. It doesn't even matter. Like even good data is popping these stocks 50, 100, 200% in a few days or a few weeks. So I'm going to continue looking at this sector, looking at the potential drugs and the potential cures. You know, this is a trend more than just 2020. This is 2021, 2022. Really focus on biotechs. How will the election affect the stock market? This is very unpredictable. You know, I try to stay away from politics. A lot of pundits were completely wrong on the last election. And frankly, they got crushed if you're trying to judge stocks based on who you think is going to win. And so I don't want to play guessing games. You know, I've made my money on predictable patterns. And when it's kind of a coin toss, 50-50, I try to stay away. And I encourage you to think like that too. I know everybody wants a soundbite. Everybody wants to play, a fun guessing game. But that's not the secret to making a lot of money in the long run. You have to weed out those guessing games. You have to avoid the gossip and situations where you can't accurately predict what's going to happen. Even if you can predict the winner, you don't know exactly what sectors that's going to influence. There's a lot of talk during the elections and the campaign trail. That doesn't necessarily lead to action when a politician is in office. So a lot of very low odds guessing games, not for me. Sorry. Are there any individual companies for 2020? You know, what I do is very reactive, not predictive. And this is a very important point. A lot of people come out with saying, oh, here's my prediction for 2020. I think this stock is going to do great. I think China is going to do great. And they come up with these certain, guesses. I don't like that, okay? If you actually look at the smartest people in the world, the highest paid, hedge fund managers, they're often and usually wrong in their predictions in the next year. So I've made a career out of not trying to have predictions. Instead, I react. So if there's a sector that starts heating up for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row, based on some news, maybe some new legislation, like marijuana companies were very hot a few years ago when there was legislation going on in their favor, or if there's some macroeconomic trend like China was very hot a little while back, I'll look into that. I'll trade that. Maybe it might be a commodity like Bitcoin. I think of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. They trade very much like commodities. They were very hot. So I will wait when I see a pattern that fits what I know, what I've learned over the past 20 plus years. But I'm not going to predict. I think that's a big problem in today's world. You want to try to get ahead. You want to try to feel special. I would just like the market to tell me what's hot. And then knowing that something that is hot can run for several days, several weeks, several months, I can ride that trend. It is a far, far safer way to trade the market and invest in the market. Wait for the market to show you what's hot, then jump in. That is my take for 2020. Is there anything that I'm concerned about in 2020? Yes. I mean, we have a lot of geopolitical risk with China and the trade war. Not necessarily just trade wars, but actual potential wars with Iran or North Korea. We are in this multi-decade bull market, which needs some consolidation or even a full-blown crash. A case can be made that a lot of these stocks and these companies and the overall market is overvalued. So we might see that. I've been very conservative the past few months, and I've been wrong. The market's just kept trending higher and higher. So I admit when I'm wrong. I've still profited, but I have not been as aggressive as I probably should have, just because we're so late in this bull market. So I'm not going to get more aggressive just because I've been wrong. I'm going to get more conservative because I'm even more scared. The higher the market goes, the more downside potential it has, especially with the political risk, with our president, who might be our president in the next few years or might not be, and that might create some wild swings in the market. So be aware of all of these issues. I wouldn't say act on them. I wouldn't say, hey, let's bet on a crash right now, or hey, let's bet on all-time new highs. Again, for me, I like to react, so it's a wait and see. I stay conservative. Sometimes the best trade is no trade. Sometimes I sit in 100% cash when I don't see any hot plays. That's okay. A lot of people have problems being patient. They always want their money working, and what they fail to realize is sometimes you put your money to work in a low odds setup or a bad investment, and then when the right investment comes along, you're too focused and stuck in a bad investment. So I like to keep myself free, and I'll wait for the good opportunities. What are the top 3 habits to develop if you want to make money? Number 1, I would say perseverance, patience, and dedication. They're all kind of related. I've been doing this now 20 plus years. I've learned so much over that time, but I've really gotten better at my risk management, better at my discipline, better at my patience just in the past few years. So year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, I might have made money because I was frankly in the right place at the right time back during the bubble, and then I adapted well short selling. But I did not really understand the ins and the outs of everything. And now, look at this. I'm able to travel everywhere around the world and still make money more times than not. Sometimes I do have to take losses. That's rule number 1, cut losses quickly. So be patient, learn the strategy, see what strategies and patterns work best for you, and stick around, because the most money that you're going to make is going to be later on after you are dedicated in your studies and you're really refining and optimizing your whole process. I would also say really focus on discipline. Cutting losses quickly is not optional, okay? I don't want you holding and hoping on any stock or any investment too long. Any play could come back, but why risk it? Most times, if you hold a stock, if you hold an investment too long, it's not doing what you want, it's going to continue going down. And that messes with your psyche, that messes with your account, that messes with your confidence. Just don't get into that because it's a very slippery slope. And third, I would say be adaptable, okay? We've been in this long bull market, so it's paid to be a long bias trader. But at the same time, we might have a crash. We might have a consolidation. There might not be a hot sector coming up. So learn to short sell. Learn other strategies so that you don't need a bull market to succeed. I can't help it when people say, oh, we need this bull market to succeed. Mutual funds need that because it's in their charters, but a lot of mutual funds are dinosaurs. There might be, thermonuclear war tomorrow, and the mutual funds will go down fully invested because they have to be based on their charter. You don't have to be that rigid. You can be adaptable. And I encourage that as a trader, not just as an investor. Trade your way to whatever sector is hot. Buy a stock if you think it's doing well and it doesn't necessarily conform to your other investments. Try out different things. You have to kind of think of yourself as a scientist. Always be experimenting. And while scientists look for the magic formula, there is no one magic formula in the stock market, but there are rules that you can learn along the way. And every single one of us is different. So you have to find what rules, what patterns, what strategies work best for you. Hey, Tim Sykes, millionaire mentor and trader. Thank you for watching my videos. I hope that they help you. I want to share everything that I've learned over the years. You can check out more videos right over there. And also click subscribe so that you can watch all of these videos, get that knowledge, and become my next millionaire student.